Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Wine by the Bay TV. I'm your host, George Bachara. Today we're brought to you as always by the Goosehead Insurance Agency. That's my agency, the Bachara Agency. We shop with over 40 companies. The power of choice is real to bring you the best insurance in home, auto, motorcycle, life, boat, you name it, we do it, as I say all the time. And again, we do it without compromising your coverage. You want the best coverage, you want the best price, especially when you're looking at $6 gas. You got to figure out ways to put money back in your pocket and not lose out on the benefits that you're used to having, that you should be having. So reach out to me rather, down in the description box below. You'll find a link to my page. Put your information in and let's get you going right away. Okay, enough of the commercial. I wanted to get right into the wine today. I picked out a couple of Californias for us today. We're going Pinot Noir for the reds, which is, I know, a little bit unusual. I'm actually doing pork for dinner tonight. I'm doing some pork chops, and I'm kind of pairing dinner with the wine that we picked today. So I picked out the Smith Story, which is a Sauvignon Blanc, so that's going to hopefully be light and crisp, from California, Sonoma County, 2019. And we've got the Sojourn Cellars 2019 Pinot Noir, also from Sonoma County. Both of those received 92-point scores, one from Wine Enthusiast and one from Wine Spectator. So they should be pretty good wines. I'm kind of familiar with the Sojourn Cellars. I've seen that on a couple of wine lists. I've had it a couple of times, different vintages, obviously. So that should be a pretty solid choice. And I really don't know anything about the Smith Story. But it's probably one of those California producers that is getting out there and starting to gain a little traction. Like I say, I'm not really sure too much about them, but we'll find out. So let's get started right away. Oh, by the way, I wanted to acknowledge that I have my camera person with me. Megan is back to kind of help us out as best as she can, and probably drink a little bit of the wine. So that's good news, and to keep me in line, frankly, because I need all the help I can get being normal.
You sure do.
Thank you very much. I'm admitting my faults, and yet you keep pounding me on it. Okay, fair enough. I see how this is going to go. Hopefully, last week I dropped the ball because I was pretty excited about the baseball thing. I didn't have all my ducks in a row in terms of information. Hopefully this time around, I have everything where it's supposed to be as usual. And let's kick it off with the Smith Story. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. And this is our Smith Story. Okay, 2019, $19.99 at Costco. From Sonoma, 92 points, Wine Enthusiast, Sauvignon Blanc. Okay. All right. So again, these wines have been open a couple hours. Chilled, but not cold, especially on the white. People have a tendency to over-chill their white wines. I know I keep saying this over and over again, but if you over-chill them, all you're going to do is taste like ice water. And if you're going to pay $35 a bottle or $29 or $20 or whatever you're going to pay, you can have ice water out of the tap for free. Or if you're a big shot, you can have Fiji for like $2 a whole bottle. So why would you do that? Okay, so color's kind of light, which is good. Very opaque. I mean, it is a Sauvignon Blanc. It wouldn't scare me, but it would be surprising if it was super mature, super dark. Sauvignon Blanc tends to be light and crisp. And we've got definitely some apple on the nose. A little lemon zest, but definitely some apple. Maybe like those yellow apples. By the way, I've been buying a lot of yellow apples at Whole Foods lately. I know that's completely ridiculous and who cares, but it's just something I'm doing. So we're going to talk about food, I guess, today. Wasn't my plan originally, but I guess we're going to do that. So
food and wine, they go together.
Yes, they do. Yeah, definitely some apple, definitely some orange. Some lemon zest, rather. I'm not catching any lime. Like, it's not a sharp, citrus, soury kind of thing. It's more of that apple prominent with an undertone of that citrus. So that's good. I think that's right where you want it to be on a Sauvignon Blanc. So let's give it a little taste here. Can you see the wheels turning, ladies and gentlemen? Really slow and really creaky.
The
But
hamster is tired.
Still turning.
Still turning.
Yeah, the hamster's tired. But frankly, at 8 o'clock in the morning when I wake up, the hamster's tired. So let's be honest. Okay, I didn't even think about what I was tasting. So let's try that again. Okay. At least this tastes like Sauvignon Blanc. If you saw last week's episode, that Pinot Grigio really hurt my feelings because it tasted like a buttery Chardonnay from California, and that really made me mad. This doesn't make me mad. Having said that, I'm not a Sauvignon Blanc person, so it kind of does make me mad that I go out and spend money on wine I don't really like. But for Sauvignon Blanc, it's exactly where you want it to be. You get that apple, you get lemon. I'm not tasting any orange peel. There's a little bit of minerality, which is good, some nice acidity. Yeah, I'd say for Sauvignon Blanc, this is kind of what you want.
How's the finish?
Especially at $20. I don't know. Still going. I feel like the apple comes in more on the attack and more on the nose, and then the citrus and the acid start to come in on the back end. And as I'm talking to you right now, that citrus is really coming forward. I'm getting a lot more lemon. Maybe even a little like key lime. Not fresh lime, but key lime. So I think that that's kind of interesting. And more orange peel on the nose. So I'm going to give this to Megan here. Let her take a taste. I don't think, well, I mean, 92 points is pretty strong. I'd say this is a solid 90, which at $20 at Costco, you get a 90-point wine for $20 at Costco, you're doing all right.
I like it. I see the apple.
You say, yeah. But then it's citrus afterwards, right? Okay.
It's really fresh, which is what you want, I think.
Yeah, but it's fresh, but it's not bright.
No.
Like it's not like it came out of steel. Like some, like you taste some Sauvignon Blanc, and it tastes like you're getting smacked in the face with a steel barrel. Like there's no oak on it. There's no it's almost annoying. It's almost antiseptic. Not in the alcohol, but like it's very boring. It's very contrived.
Right.
This seems more natural to me. So it might have gotten a little bit of oak in there. I mean, I guess if I read this,
probably a little
it
bit.
might even tell me. Let's see. Apparently, what it tells me is that if you drive a car, you may not want to drink. Newsflash, ladies and gentlemen. Newsflash. If you drink too much, you should not drive. And I know Megan's laughing right now. It's not a funny subject. Actually, having been in the restaurant business, I've had to take keys on a number of occasions. So it's not a funny subject, but it's something we should all know. So it's a good thing that the Smith story is telling us not to drink and drive. Words to live by. Okay, so I think this one's pretty decent.
Like it.
Especially at $20, I think you're doing okay on that.
Day.
Yeah, on a warm day as the weather starts to warm up,
Yeah.
if you chill this like to where I've got it, which is probably around 55 degrees, you'll still taste all these flavors and it'll refresh you. In fact, this kind of wine wouldn't be bad with like a little club soda or Sprite. You make like a little drink out of that. That wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't do that, but it's something you could do like at a party, like you know what I mean, to just kind of like drink. Make it kind of change things up.
Yeah.
Maybe like a white sangria with it. It wouldn't be too bad at all. So I think this one at $20 a clip, I would say if you're looking for a lighter white wine, first course wine, or something that stands alone, this is a good way to go, especially as a summer hit. So again, that's the Smith story.
I like it.
Okay. And we got an I like it from the boss. Okay, so now we've got the Sojourn Cellars Pinot Noir. Okay. So So this is 2019 from Sonoma. This one's a little more pricey, $49.99 at Total Wine. So I took one for the team, and went right at that $50 mark. Which, I mean, to tell you the truth, I have a lot of expensive wine in my wine fridges, but for the purposes of this channel, I've tried to shy away from the expensive stuff and find something that's a little bit more approachable. Because let's face it, especially if you're going out to dinner, and hopefully most people are now starting to go out again, I don't want to hit you for a $75 to $100 bottle in a wine shop that you're looking at $150 to $250 on a wine list. I mean, there's a time and a place for that, and if you do that regularly, God bless you, good for you. But not a lot of people do that, especially right now. We're talking about $6 gas. The number of wine of $200 bottles is going to go down dramatically. So that's something to think about. So this one is $50. Total Wine, 92 points, Wine Spectator, 14.4 alcohol by volume. So this one's a little bit bigger. It's not out of control for a red wine. It's probably on the lower side for a red, but it's a little bit more aggressive maybe for a Pinot. So I'm wondering if there's a little Syrah in there. I wonder. We'll find out in just a moment. As far as the color, it's not, I mean, it's on the lighter side for a red, but it's not a light side for a Pinot. It's kind of where you want it. But it's not dark too, so there's not a whole lot of like Syrah or, you know, something that's darker that's kind of fortify and kind of hide the Pinot and make it more like a big bombastic California thing. So let's see what we got over here. Definitely some cedar. Some purple fruit, maybe like a boysenberry. Yeah, nice cedar. Excuse me.
Is it a nice nose?
Yeah, good nose. I mean, I think it's a good. It's interesting. It's something different than what we've been drinking.
Nice.
I wanted to pick something obviously on the lighter side to kind of go with the pork, or the pork to go with the lighter side, I should say.
Right.
But when I saw this Sojourn, I wanted to try it. I'm not a big Pinot guy, but I've liked the Sojourn in the past, and just from a, yeah, maybe a little smoke, just the tiniest little bit of smoke, but definitely cedar forward. Some berry flavor, some like dark berry flavor, or maybe a little like black cherry. Yeah, little touch of maybe burnt match. Yeah, interesting. A little funky too. Just a little.
I like a little funk in the Pinots.
When you're tasting these wines, really roll them around in your mouth. I know when you're having dinner, it's a little different, and you just try to eat. But when you're tasting these wines to evaluate them, you really want to get them to all four corners of your tongue, so you get the full experience. I tell you the truth, Sojourn Cellars again, not a Pinot guy, really more of a heavier red type of guy. This is good. It's tasty.
Do you taste the cedar and the black cherry that you...
I'm going to give you the flavor profile in just a second. But yeah, it's very similar to the nose. Maybe a little bit more minerality on the palate, which is good. Obviously, you don't want a whole lot of minerality on the nose.
Right.
A little leather, a little bit of vanilla, like a buttery vanilla. Like if you were to make a pan sauce and start with butter and then put a little stick of vanilla and then take it right out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of that. Definitely that juicy black cherry going on. Yeah, a little bit of cedar. almost a soil.
Mm.
Got a little orange peel on the first taste, which I meant to mention, but I did not.
Mm.
See, this is the type of wine that, while stylistically I'm not a big fan of, it's interesting. There's stuff going on. As I'm talking to you, I'm getting, it's kind of coming again and again and again, and it's still kind of lingering on my palate, which is interesting. I mean, anybody can grab a bottle of wine or a glass of wine, drink it, to get drunk or whatever, or to mix with dinner just because you think you have to. And that's fine. But if you're going to spend $50, I want something to happen. Yep. I want it to take me, like I've been saying, on a journey. So let's take it on, this one is kind of taking me on a little bit of a journey. This is interesting. So taste that. Yeah, there's a little bit of like topsoil, or maybe it's more. Nah, forest floor is too much because I don't taste any mossiness. A little bit of topsoil, a little bit of that. Maybe cigar box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
little cigar box.
Smokiness to it.
Mm-hmm. That ripe cherry flavor, like a dark ripe cherry. You know when you buy cherries in the supermarket in the summertime, and there's a couple that are like blacker than others, and you bite into them, and they're like very intense.
That juice when you swirl it
like
around.
They're almost starting to dry. They're not overripe, but they're just teetering on there. That's kind of what I'm tasting there. Do you concur?
I do. You're right.
Maybe a little bit of cocoa powder.
Long finish, really nice.
I'm still tasting the finish.
Yeah.
Not overly alcohol. There's a little bit of structure to it, like I'm getting some alcohol, but it's not burning my throat. It's just on the periphery, just to kind of give it a nice like little structure thing. So I mean, this one is definitely 92 points.
I think so too.
I think good job, Wine Spectator. I mean, I feel like this is a good wine. Again, not a big Pinot fan, generally speaking, but this wine does a few different things for you. It gives you different experiences. You get some fruit. You get some smoke. You get a little cigar box. You get a little cedar. You get a little bit of everything. So you kind of, we're going to taste this with the pork tonight, and I'm curious to see how this really tastes after we throw a little pork chop action at it. And I'm not going to over-season that pork either. So we're going to let it go real natural flavor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really good. 92 points. I agree. Absolutely. $49.99. I mean, the price is a little bit treaty. I mean, you can probably do something not quite as complicated as this, but pleasant at $29, but I don't think you'd feel bad spending $50 in this bottle.
Absolutely.
I don't know that I'd spend, $125 on a wine list on it, which is probably what you're paying.
Right.
At $125, I'd probably want to go cab or some sort of Meritage or something like that. But I think it's a good value. I wouldn't be disappointed.
No.
Drinking this wine.
I like Pinots, so I think that's a good.
Yeah, I'm not a big Pinot guy, but I mean, when you give me something that makes me think a little bit and keep drinking it and re-examining it, then I'm interested, and then it has value. So I would say this Sojourn is a pickup. Like if you want to have a nice dinner one night, you want to do filet mignon, you want to do pork, you want to do something that's not a super super heavy meat. This would be an excellent choice if you're celebrating someone's birthday, or you're doing like an anniversary or something. That's
couples night out. Or
couples
night together.
Yeah. Like if you do like a once a week or once a month date kind of thing, but you don't want to like destroy your budget and buy a $250 bottle of wine in a restaurant. This is a very good choice.
Totally.
So I would say 92 points for sure. So we've got the Smith Story Sauvignon Blanc. We've got the Sojourn. Pinot Noir, rather, both from Sonoma County, both successes. This one maybe not as aggressive point-wise, 90 points, 92 points. But I say we did a pretty good job this time. So bravo to all of you that are tasting with me. Our question of the day, question of the week, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So to wine or not to wine, that is the question. And I don't mean it that way. What I mean is, will you drink beer on St. Patrick's Day or will you drink wine? And if you do drink beer, what kind of beer are you going to drink? I am a Guinness guy myself. I don't drink a whole lot of beer, but I do like a Guinness from time to time. So if I'm going to drink beer, I probably will drink Guinness. The other thing I wanted to point out to you before we go is we're going to start a series pretty soon. The series is going to be there's a wine magazine, I think it was Wine Spectator, that did their top 50 wines or top 100 wines of the year. I probably shouldn't have just told you about this off the cuff, but I bought the magazine and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to pick a couple of wines out and do like a series and taste them. You know, we're not going to go too expensive. We'll probably cap it at like $50 or $60 and try and keep it on the lower end. And let's see, you know, if we agree with the scoring here. So we're going to do that coming up in the next week or two, and we'll take it from there. So once again, I'm George, Wine by the Bay TV, and we'll see you next time.